come together right now. Folks like us. Bum ba bum 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 bum.
Oh my God, I love it. Hey everyone, this is Soul Mama Jane. She's on our channel as well. Come together, folks like us.
Hi
And
everyone.
yeah, great. And she's happy to do an interview with me on living with mental illness, but she's a heck of a singer. She's an artist. She's creative. And so we're going to share that because you're streaming on Spotify and whatnot. So if you can just take us through what it's like to live with what you have, and because it gives other people hope as well. It doesn't mean you're
Sure.
completely screwed if you have a mental illness. Some,
Oh,
yeah,
definitely not.
not,
Mm.
yeah. And you're doing so well. So
Thank you.
I'll hand you the floor. So, Mama Jane.
Okay, thank you, Deb. Well, to live with bipolar is unpredictable. I've always been at the mercy of my moods, and I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I used to sit in the car in a crouch position going, these moods, what's wrong? What's wrong? And since I've been on meds, I think things are a lot better.
Mhm.
But it's taken a while to find the right combination so that I can just function.
What else have you got besides bipolar?
Well, years ago, I was diagnosed with ADHD,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always thought the jury was out on that, but I'm now starting to think it's a possibility that that might be thrown into the mix too.
Very much so. Mm. And
Yeah,
I know you told me you get deep bipolar depressions, which are a
absolutely. Yeah.
bastard, right?
Oh, they're disgusting. Yeah.
How does it
They
feel for you when you have a depression?
it just feels like every step is really difficult. And it just feels like, how am I going to get through
Mm.
another day of this?
Mm.
And it's taken me to the depths of suicidal ideation. I
Yeah.
haven't acted on that ever because I'm still here.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Mm.
It's just yeah, it's a nightmare. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
No, no.
It's terrible.
And how have you managed to do your creativity and your songs? Because your songs are fabulous. They're streaming on Spotify, which I'm going to link underneath here
Great.
on the
Yeah.
channel. People, you've got to support Soul Mama Jane. She is so cool. And your art is also brilliant. But your
Thank you.
music is so good. And that's why she's saying our introduction. That's going to be our introduction forever now. But how do you find it affects has it given you more creativity, do you think, or not?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely given me more creativity. I mean, when when I'm up, I'm writing songs at 2 a.m. and
Mm.
yeah, my creativity is really buzzing. But also when I'm just traveling along like this, and I'm actually stable. That's the right word. Then I'm in a good position to create because I'm stable and I have a sense of contentment
Mhm.
when that happens. So that puts me in a good position to create. When I'm up, I tend to be mixed. I
You
get those
mean you
mixed
mean manic?
emotions.
When you're up, you
Yeah,
mean okay. Just so
yeah,
people
yeah,
understand what that means, right?
yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, when I'm manic. But when I'm manic, I can also be very all over the place. I
Mm.
can feel like I'm just being dragged along,
Mm. Mm.
like these forces have just taken me over, and I'm
And
just like,
it's
ah,
something you can't control, right? It just everything is just wild and
yeah,
uncontrolled, and yet tend to overdo it. I don't know about you, but I do. And then I am burnt out.
yeah. I get the mixed episodes.
Oh
So I
wow.
get manic and I get depression at the same time.
Oh
I was
God.
diagnosed with bipolar type 2 but I actually sit right in the middle. If there's a spectrum, I'm right in the middle, because I also have the mixed episodes are a symptom of bipolar type 1. So I've just got a little bit of everything into the mix.
You're just full of fabulousness. What to say?
Yeah, thank you. And you too.
Shem, you know, I know it's very, very difficult, and especially I think just for people to understand who are watching who don't have bipolar and ADHD.
When I was diagnosed with ADHD, they put me on dexamphetamine, and that made me really manic. And I was a gardener. I was working as a gardener at the time, and I thought I could just plan out this church rectory with these plants, and I was digging, and they were really hard to get out. And I thought, I'm going to do this whole garden.
Yeah.
And I was just gone. I was burnt out. I'd gotten about a quarter of the garden done, and oh God. So it made me very manic. So I think the meds I'm on seem to help me to function with the bipolar.
And I won't ask you what meds, but how many do you take?
About 4.
Yeah, it's the same as Lisa that I interviewed on 4.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing is fantastic. I'm just so honored to be your friend and know you.
And I feel the same way about you.
Oh, thank you.
I just find you just a fantastic person. And I think it was one of the best things in my life when I met you. And I remember that first session we had. Yeah. And it was like you just jumped out of the video screen. And that
was that video I said when I just don't fucking feel like it. Was it that one?
That's right.
And you loved that. I said, today's a blah day. That was way back when I wasn't yet medicated. It was a nightmare.
No, I'm the same. I find that I can swear and turn the air blue.
Oh, yeah. I love that saying. That's brilliant. But I think it's good to have a swear word, because it just kind of gives it a punch. When you've got these disorders, sometimes it's like, just fuck's sake. It just happens. And what to do? I don't think it's such a big deal. But talk to us about your music, babe.
Okay. Well, I've been playing for a long time. And
what do you play?
I play piano and I sing, and mostly I've been fronting with the how can I put the word fronting? I've been standing at the front singing with the Sydney Soul Ensemble, and that's been great. That's just been such a great experience. That's with incredible. The Sydney Conservatorium of Music. Wow. So I've been doing that. I've been doing a bit of acting as well. And I've been recording. I find that the recording and the singing just helps me regulate moods. Here comes my dog.
Okay, that's all right. Doggies are welcome. We love dogs.
Doggies are welcome.
Well, doggies are welcome. We love dogs. And
men are welcome too.
Oh, sweet. Absolutely. And I just think...
Don't know what happened there. Sorry about that.
No, she had a little jump over you. I know how much you love dogs, because wait, I want to ask you, working in a normal job.
Yep.
Possible?
No, I find I can do well. It's a combination of the physical pain that I'm in and the bipolar. Okay. And whether ADHD is there or not, I don't know. But I find working in a normal job, I'm okay with some part-time hours, but they have to be quite specific. I'm not a 9-to-5 sort of a person. I did do that years ago, and I got medically retired. I was a postie. I worked as a mail deliverer. But no, normal job, no. Definitely not.
Yeah, I find, and a lot of there's a lot of misperception out there, and that is, well, if you can create and you can sing and you could do that, then why can't you do a 9-to-5? And what I've
Yeah.
found with every single person I've spoken to, that going to a 9 to 5 job can't, because what
Yeah.
seems to happen, I don't know if it's with you, but you want to go in and you wake up and you go, oh God, okay, I don't know if I can do today. Because each
Yes.
day we have to live each day. Would you agree? And then you go to
Definitely.
work and it's the same stuff daily. And our
Definitely.
brains don't work that way.
They
So,
don't. And also, you're dealing with personalities,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
people, places, and things.
Mm,
And those three elements can really trip us off balance, I think.
mm, mm,
I
mm,
find
mm,
that.
mm.
And, I had this awful job where I was working in a call center. And I remember the days that I had to go, I remember I was just crouched over going,
Oh.
no. And I ended up, the job just separated from me, or I separated from it. But no, I think if I really enjoy the work, then I can sort of get into it. But if I don't enjoy the work, then it's very difficult.
Yeah, and then your music. So I'll let you carry on with your music. I won't
Okay.
interrupt.
Okay. So I record my music. I do it on GarageBand, and I use loops, and I organize the loops, and I pick and choose each one. It takes me all night sometimes, or
Wow.
all day. And I'll just pick and choose what I want, and then I'll make it fit into a track, and I might combine tracks, or I won't talk too much about the technicalities, but I
But you're
do that.
very
And
good.
then,
It's interesting to know how you do that, Steph.
yeah, that's how I do it. And then I'll sing, I'll put a track down of my vocal, and
Yeah,
then I'll use a harmony. So I'll sing on top of my vocal with another track.
right.
And sometimes I'll use different instruments, like smaller instruments,
Is that your
mouth
own,
organ.
or is it something you download for people who
It's
want?
both. It's
That's
both.
incredible. How do
So I
you,
use I
that
use
takes a
loop.
lot of brain power, you know.
It takes a bit. Yeah, it takes a lot. I
Wow,
think
because I've heard your music and it's freaking awesome.
thank you.
But you don't
Yeah,
have a
I'm glad
live
you
band
enjoy
with
it.
you.
No,
You,
I don't have a live band because you've got to pay
wow.
musicians, and yeah, I don't have the cash to pay musicians. So I use the loops, and I download them from a place called Loop Masters. So a big shout out to them with the materials. And I also use stuff from Apple. And I use my own sort of music. I use mouth organs and tambourines, ukuleles, all that kind of thing.
Wow.
But the ukulele sounds a bit like a cat pissing into the wind. So I've really got to, I can't use the ukulele at the moment. I need a bigger setup so that I can use it and make it sound nice.
A cat hissing in the wind.
A cat pissing into the wind. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh God,
yeah.
I've
It
never
just sounds
heard that, but I
jangly,
can kind
janga,
of
janga,
imagine.
jing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
So
so when you're recording, because your process, I know it must be difficult. I mean, you record on what? On your phone,
I on my iPad.
on your iPad. And so you
Yeah,
download backing,
yeah,
then you have to sing with the backing, if I'm correct. Or you take
yeah.
us through it. How does it work
Okay.
exactly?
So I've got an account, and I log into Loop Cloud, and then I'll download the tracks. I'll order songs, or I'll order, say, a pack of different songs. It might be Detroit Soul, for example, or it might, like, they're all a theme, or it might be disco or
But just backing
reggae.
music, not words.
That's just
Yeah.
like a guitar.
Mm.
So I'll download a guitar, or I might download a keyboard track, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just the keyboard or just the guitar. And so I'll download those tracks. Then I'll put them in files in Apple,
Mm-hmm.
and then I drag them into GarageBand. So I'll click
Wow.
look for files. Then I look for the file, and it comes up on the track. I can drag it into the track, and then off I go, away I go. And then I sing, like I'll write the words to songs and I'll sing the songs.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
but do you have to then get to the key of what you download, or can you download,
Oh, yeah.
like
You
in the
have to make
key
sure the
C, for
keys,
example? Can you make that before you download, or do you have to
that
download
comes
and then,
after the download. Yeah, you've got to go through and through and through to find the right track in the right key that suits the song. Because sometimes I'll think, oh, that's a lovely guitar sound. And then it'll be in A and my song's in C. And
oh,
I can't change it. So I have to abandon that and try something else. So it's
yeah.
this constant sort of looking through and choosing
That's
which
such
ones
a
fit.
lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's a labor of love. I might
Mhm.
pop up a bass track and say, well, I just want da 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 rather than da 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 da, and so pop up the bass track and make it fit the song.
That's so clever. We were talking about what you're struggling with, because
Mm.
for everyone, guys, I'm setting up a GoFundMe for Steph. She needs help, and I think she deserves help because she is trying so hard. This is the only work she can do, and she's trying so hard, and she's doing well, but she's going through such a hard time getting there. And we had a brief chat about what would make it easier for you, which is I'm going to set up a GoFundMe and ask, please donate whatever you can for her.
Mm. Mm.
I'll put the link onto the channel, and I'll put it on Facebook with your picture. And
Fantastic.
I think that's the least we can do for people. When someone's got mental illness and they're trying their best to
Yep,
make money, make a living in the only
absolutely.
way that they know how, because we can't do normal jobs. That's just not going
Yeah.
to happen. I mean, that's
Yeah.
every person it's not an excuse, it's the truth. And it takes more work to be composing and singing and writing and all that than it would do if you just
Yeah.
bobbled off to a job, sat there
Mm.
till 5 o'clock, and then came home. So I
Yeah.
really, really, I mean, creativity is great, but it takes a lot of.
It takes a lot.
So if you want to take us through what it is that you need to make this process easier for you, because you shouldn't
Okay.
be sitting for a few days just getting one track right. That's not right.
Oh, no, no, it varies. The time lengths vary.
Okay.
But again, it's a labor of love. I'll probably always do it. But what I need is money. That's just simply the
Okay.
case. I don't have any money. I would like to use musicians.
Mm,
Yeah, I'd
mm,
need to pay musicians and then get distribution of CDs. That costs a lot of money.
mm.
To get CDs distributed here in Australia costs about
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
four
right.
hundred
You're
and
in
fifty dollars.
Australia. Mm.
Yeah, for 100 CDs, $450. Then I'd
Wow.
have to sell the CDs, so I'd be selling those at $20 each to make my money back.
Mm, mm.
So basically, what I need is money. There's just so many things in music that ask for money. It's coaching. There's just so many things.
Well, to hire a studio must cost a lot, and that would make it so much, your music would be much better, I
Oh,
think.
yeah,
Or am
yeah.
I wrong? Because you'd then have the right, it's like right there. You got the microphone, you're in a studio
Oh,
with it
yeah, you'd have better
soundproofed.
equipment.
Makes all the
Yeah,
difference, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah.
So,
It,
how much money are you looking for? Just to start.
well, to start, I'd need several thousand. So about $5,000 would be a
Yeah,
figure
that's
that
fair.
would cover expenses.
Mm, mm.
And that would cover the recording, getting musicians in, and distribution of CDs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already on Spotify and YouTube Music and all these different platforms. But what I really need to do is distribute the CDs, probably go to gigs, like, everything from open mic nights to gigs that are just set up where I'm playing my spot, especially sort of selected
so you could hire a place and
and use musicians. I'd want to pay them for their time, and use a sound engineer to record the songs to get at least an album out. I've got songs dating back years, and they're all waiting to be recorded, but probably it would cost me $5,000 to get one album out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
again.
Sorry. So we get this money, and I'm going to really ask, guys, please just help. Okay, just help. That's what we need to do. I mean, the channel's called Come Together, folks like us, because we are different. And I would say we're differently abled, not too much disabled. Although we can't do what regular folk do, we can do other things, which is amazing.
We can do other things. We might not be able to do A, but we can do B.
Yeah. But we do need help, because that
definitely
needs money. And then
everyone help.
Exactly. And then once you've got your money, how would you get yourself going, let's say, so that you wouldn't need more, so that folks know they're helping get you launched, but then the money will make itself from your music?
Well, what I do is first of all I'd look around for different prices for sound engineers and CD distribution. So I do my homework regarding prices for those, and then I choose one, a sound engineer, and then a studio, and then I call up on some musicians I know, and I'd pay them. There'd be musicians from the soul ensemble that played, worked in bands with, and I'd just say, well, look, I've got a bit of money that you can, that I'd like to pay you with. Then get the CDs distributed through live gigs.
And then, I mean, everyone's getting you going. So imagine being a part of this, because then you're going to be internationally known. This is what happens. I've heard your singing. It's brilliant. I've heard your music. And guys, I'm going to play a song on here at the end so you can hear. But I love your music, and I think you're a freaking genius. But I think if whoever helps here, know that you are helping create A Star Is Born. I just made that up. Isn't that cool? A Star Is Born. And why not? Because I think when we help each other, you can say, oh, I was part of Soul Mama Jane's story. Always acknowledge you guys. I can get you mugs, or I can do T-shirts or something for free as a gift. Say thank you. I mean, we can do that. And so, I mean, if you do help, you'll get, if you want a gift, then we can give you a mug or a T-shirt, or if you want a sticker, it would be nice for folks. I mean, mugs, probably.
I think mugs. I think
with your name
T-shirts
on.
are good. Caps are good. Caps are always good. I think all those things that you mentioned,
they're very cool.
Good.
Peak caps are great, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Soul Mama Jane, love it.
Yeah.
And then at least, because that will then launch you onto the international stage. And I mean, there's no doubt. You've been singing for how long?
All my life.
Well, there we go. And I mean,
when I was a kid. I
You were
think
giving singing lessons for a time as well.
I was doing that, but I
Mm,
found that concentrating on
that's it.
performing and recording seems to be where it's at for me.
Yes.
That's what interests me the most.
I just want to say that you're not married, you're single, and
Yeah,
Steph needs support. That's the thing.
yeah, yeah,
You
that's
have to
right.
support yourself, is what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
do.
So yeah, I think it's hard enough living with these disorders. So when
Mm,
you have to work, because otherwise you'll starve,
mm,
obviously, and have to live in a
mm.
tent on the street, not a good idea. So I think to
No,
make it easier for you, I think the GoFundMe page will be set up on the channel and I'll put it on Facebook. Are you
I'm
are
not
you
sure
on
how to.
Instagram?
Yeah, yeah, I'm on Instagram. I put pictures up on it. I don't always use it. I do put shorts up on it. I do have little shorts where I'll sing, but Instagram. I always find Facebook a bit easier to
Yeah,
use
yeah.
than
Instagram's a bit like Nick
it's a bit.
difficult.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just
Oh, are we that bright?
it's a bit obtuse. That's the word. It's obtuse. Ross hears a few choice words coming out of my mouth.
We tend to get, that's the one thing about bipolar and ADHD is that people, I just want to say this, that when we're on a manic, we're not always happy and dancing in the tulips. Sometimes
No,
go on a
no.
manic and we get flipping angry.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
so
That's a big
annoying.
part of it.
And that's part of ADHD too. So if you got both, you're double whammied. And
Yeah,
it's
Tronte.
it's not easy
Mm,
because
mm.
sometimes a manic can make you really feel good and creative and you're doing your thing and life's great. And other times you just find you just can't stand everything. And when
Yeah,
something goes wrong, that's why you need help, I think, with your creating your music, is because when something goes wrong for us, so we're trying, so you've been working on something for a few hours, let's say, and then something goes wrong and
you have a
all
meltdown.
gone. And then you have a
Yeah,
meltdown and you lose your shizzle and then you don't want to do it again. I know that
yeah,
that happens with me. If I'm doing something on the computer and the bastard thing freezes or something,
yeah,
I have to
yeah,
walk away because I'll throw it out the window. It gets that bad. So
yeah. I've had that happen to me. Before I was diagnosed, I used to
you
think,
see
what
it,
is wrong with me?
that's so important to say because before we diagnosed, we behave and we think we're awfully colorful and fun. And
Either that or we think we're just crazy.
everyone thinks, oh my God, that woman's a nightmare. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. What's
because
she
we
doing
have,
on the path?
well, this
Crying.
is it. What the hell?
Well, I remember oh, what did I do? I took my top off in the street and I just was flashing and um
Yeah.
yeah, and I did that, and fortunately it was nighttime and there weren't a lot of people around. But there were people that would come and walk down the street, so there were people, but just it was night and the street was reasonably quiet. But would I have done that in George Street, Sydney? Probably. I think before I was medicated, I
Still
wouldn't have known what I'd do.
meditating. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
and at the time, did you just think you were being really funny? I mean,
yeah. I think my brain didn't have time to compute. It
yeah.
was just this sort of split second thing where it just seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah.
That's the sort of buzzword. That's the sentence. It seemed like a good idea. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, that's a song.
Uh, 5 seconds. For 5 seconds, it seemed, and it was just this loss of control. The meds hadn't been sorted out, and it's taken right up until now to
How many
have.
years of
Oh
meds
well,
changing, changing, changing?
since 2017.
Yeah.
And then before that, I was diagnosed with depression on its
God.
own. And so I was just on antidepressants. But
Yes.
it's also horrible for the people around us,
Yeah.
for
The
loved
people
ones.
around us do struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really, I'm mindful of that
Yes.
I might be struggling myself. Like I'll have these thoughts that are just, my body's tired and my thoughts are just going like wind chimes. A lot of the stuff that I experience is on the inside. Like I'll do cray things, but there's just this, it's like the cray things are the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then the bottom of the iceberg is what's going on inside.
It's horrendous.
And that's out of control. You can feel like you're getting dragged behind a car.
Yeah, because our brains have a mind of their own. I mean, what to do?
They do. You can be doing one thing,
Yeah.
and then you go to do something. Oh, I'll go to the kitchen and I'll cook a meal. And then I find myself on my phone.
Yeah.
Looking at social media.
Yeah.
And then, I better go and have a shower. And then something else comes along. And so on and so on and so on.
Yeah.
I think there's days with depression where you just stay in bed.
Yeah.
You don't get out of bed and you just sleep. You just sleep it off. So there's definitely been days like that. But I've always felt different and separate to the rest of the world. Yeah. But for me, what's really important now is community. I seem to be a lot better at finding community. But I was always the girl that, I'd be chasing everyone up. I'd be like, come on, let's do something. And then I just seem to attract to unavailable people. That's what I found. I was always the friendly one, the one that really wanted the friendship. And then I just found people just drifted off. They just were like, oh, yeah, whatever, la-di-da. They've got something going on for them, and then that pulls them away. And then if it's me, I get angry, and I get resentful, and I'm like, that bitch. Or
yeah, absolutely. And I just think that there should be a lot more tolerance and understanding for people,
and a lot more opportunities for people with mental illness
and kindness
to connect.
Costs nothing. I mean, if you know someone has mental illness of the less severe.
I found when I told people I had bipolar, like I do some work as a dog walker, and I made the mistake of telling this guy that I worked with that I had bipolar. Next thing, I wasn't getting work. It was like,
wow,
dropped like a hot potato. And then this other woman that I was working with, the same thing, dropped like a hot potato.
And I think that falls also to the lack of understanding. Yeah, and a lot of people end up committing suicide with bipolar because they can get shunned, they can get misunderstood, they can get sort of treated not like others would be treated, like there's something wrong with you, so I must avoid you. And that all gets to one's psyche. You eventually just think, well, what am I doing here? Especially if you're...
And it gets to one's self-esteem.
That's
like you're always left with this feeling, what's wrong with me?
That's it.
And it's important for people with these disorders to, as your video says, come together.
Yeah, and talk about it.
And support each other and talk about it. And also for people in the greater community to find out what it's about and understand it, because a lot of people are loved ones of people who have this disorder. And it helps them to understand what's going on.
And then the thing is to ask the person, how does that feel for you? What does it do? How does it present? So that you can get an understanding. So I'll let you go, Mahan.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
It's lovely to talk to you, Deb. And a big hello to everyone who's out there listening.
There we go. Bruce
major depression.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, he is just incredible. He's one of my
He's
best.
an amazing performer. He's just, I like a lot of his music.
I remember when he was younger and I was younger and I saw him dancing with that song, Dancing in the Dark. And I was
yeah.
that
Especially
bum,
that shot of his rear end.
that bum on those legs. I was like, whoa. Get me some of that. Anyway, I mean, it's been great.
Anyway,
it's
been great to talk to you too.
Thanks. I'm going to upload the link to your Spotify so people can listen.
Great.
To you. And I'm going to upload the GoFundMe page. And
Fantastic.
I'll put a link on this thing, but it goes straight to Steph, guys. It doesn't come to me. It doesn't go to anybody. I don't take a cent. It goes to Steph. So please, if you can, just whatever you can give. It doesn't matter if it's $5 or more. It doesn't matter. Just help because you deserve it. You're working so blooming hard and you deserve it. And it's all you can do. So, it's not like you could say, well, go find another job that pays you. You can't because you have these disorders. So please, guys, if you don't mind, help. And then when she's on the international stage, you could say, I was part of that, and you'll all get free tickets, right? So
absolutely. My word.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right,
Deb.
lovely. Well, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you. And
to everyone out there. And I hope this has been enlightening for everyone and more understanding on these disorders and the creativity that goes with it. And people who have them and are brave enough to move forward and do stuff like you're doing, I think the least you deserve is help. There are millions of people who have bipolar disorder. So we can help.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you so much. See you soon, sweetie.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.